Good morning, networkers. Good morning. You know, I take a lot of videos and I mention about that I like to go out in the morning and relax and go work out, go for a jog, maybe a power walk, something like that, and take in some of the scenery that's around me. And this is just it's lovely over here this morning, and you can see all the wind blowing, some of the reeds around, and very, very serene and relaxing. And you can see in the background there, it's a nice area of Barnagate Bay. But this part here is just beautiful. Now, a lot of people ask me, you know, when you're working out, you say you're going out and you like to relax and think about things. And what do you think about? What do you do when you're working out in the morning and getting your head ready and getting your head wrapped around your day? What do you do? I mean, how do you do that? Well, I mean, I'm not a guru in meditation, but I just know what I know, and I know what I do. And so really, you know, when you're walking and you're out maybe meditating, maybe you can't go out and you have to kind of just sit and meditate and relax and think about your day and plan your day. But it's almost like a to-do list for your brain, and getting you know, your 1, 2, 3 step priorities and so on out of the way in the morning, so that this way you're primed and ready to go for the whole day. Well, when I go out and relax in the morning, first of all, I'm going out and I'm trying to at least clear my mind of all sorts of other things that are distracting at that time. Then I start to go and I start to think about, okay, what do I need to accomplish for the day? What tasks do I need to do? What priorities are those, you know, major things, major tasks that I have to do, and so on. Now, let me put it in your perspective. If you happen to be marketing for your business and you happen to be, you know, recruiting mode for whatever business you happen to be marketing, well, if you're going through and you have to say, okay, what techniques am I using today? What tools am I using today? Because it may vary from tool to tool, technique to technique, as far as what you need to do. You know, so we'll just kind of go in general terms. So you know, maybe in the morning, if you're doing you have your blog set up, you have to go and you have to maybe post something on your blog. You want to be consistent. Okay, almost everything is consistency here, because a lot of the techniques, Facebook, Twitter, blogs, all that kind of stuff, article marketing, is you have to be consistent over time, really posting and posting and posting, right, to make it effective, and it's a cumulative effect over time. So you want to get your tasks like that out of the way before you really have to do your calling time, your emailing, and your actual speaking to people. So that's more of your downtime. That's more of the time where if you can't speak to people because it's too early in the day, that you want to get that kind of thing out of the way. Okay, so you want to start doing that stuff, you know, post, maybe upload something to YouTube or to some other video marketing sites, post something on some forums, some blogs, article marketing, and some of the elbow grease stuff that I mentioned that you can do yourself, that are very, very effective. So now, after that, once you start doing that, you start to see, okay, what else am I going to be doing? Am I doing phone broadcasting? Am I doing predictive dialing, where I want to call and speak to people directly? All right, so are you doing something like that where you get that together? If you're doing that, you got to get your list together so that this way you know who you're calling, what kind of a list you're calling, what type of a list is it, okay? Now, if you don't have a list, then what I would use is either you purchase leads from a lead broker, or you use a scraper tool like some of the scrapers that I have, that I've mentioned to everybody that I have: Scraper Pro, Extract Master, and we have some other ones coming out as well too that I'll talk about some other time. And you gather your leads there. So the point there is, get your leads together, what type of leads you're going to contact, gather them together, and put them in formats that you can put them into your emailer or your broadcaster. Now, once you do that, you start setting up your time as far as when it's going to go out, how fast it's going to go out. Are you going to send them to a website? Are you going to send them to a voicemail? Are you doing predictive dialing where you're going to be talking to them live? Okay. Now, we've done many, many videos and where we've done the predictive dialing through hyperdialer.com, and where you say, okay, I want to spend at least an hour a day to be able to use the predictive dialer without fail. Okay, now if that's part of your routine, fantastic. I think it's a great way to build your business. And if you don't want to do the calling there, you do the follow-up maybe, okay? And so you use that to be more productive in your day, okay, and have less downtime. And that's what predictive dialing does for me, is that it tends to save me 20, 30, even more % of my time, because it's a very efficient tool to call people. So if you're using a predictive dialer, you want to be able to schedule out what time of day you're going to be using it and be consistent with that. If you're doing a phone broadcasting system like Phone Broadcast Club, something like that, then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to broadcast out, and depending on if you're going to send people to a voicemail, to a website, or to you live, then you would kind of schedule it as far as the speed at which it's going to go out, so this way you can handle the calls and get back to them right away. So if you're going and sending them to a voicemail, then you want to say, okay, how many do I have to send out to be able to have them go to a voicemail? So once they leave their information, I'm going to be on them like white on rice, right? I'm going to be calling them back right away and contacting them about my opportunity. So at that point, then comes the follow-up. Okay, then you're following up at that point. Okay, you're scheduling all this out in your head, maybe writing it down. So later on, then comes the follow-up throughout the day, and you're doing that. So throughout this time, you want to try to make sure that you're not going through and hitting emails too much, because answering emails back and forth can really eat up your whole day, right? So you want to be able to say, okay, I'm doing this during this time, I'm doing something else during this time, and accomplish those tasks, and don't stop until you accomplish those tasks. Otherwise, by the time you do the whole day, nothing's really get done, right? So you're going through that. Now, if you happen to be working during the day, okay, maybe you're not doing networking full time, maybe you're working during the day, you want to set up these automated tools before you go to work, so this way they are working for you. Now that's the lazy networker technique that I teach all the time. And if you haven't already gotten my book, it's thelazynetworker.com, thelazynetworker.com. You want to look at that. It's almost 300 pages. And it's only $20, and also you can make some money with it as well. But you can take a look at that. So and that's the lazy networker technique, meaning that you could be somewhere else building your business while you're at work, or while you're doing some other kind of function, or maybe even something, enjoying yourself, right? So now you're setting up these automated tools that you can use while you're doing something else. Okay, so if you have a 9-to-5 job, okay, or 8-to-6 job, whatever it happens to be, you can set up these tools to do this during the day. Maybe your phone broadcaster, maybe your emailer is sending something out, okay, during the day, and you can even do automated blogging. You can set it up to automatically post for you, and all sorts of stuff like that. So there's a lot of different techniques that you can do that you don't have to necessarily be there. But of course you have to invest in those tools as well too, because they are going to be able to build your business while you can't. All right, so now when you get home, okay, when you get home, then you have those leads to follow up with, and try to block out a time that you can do that. Maybe if you get home before you have to go to have dinner, maybe with the family, things like that. And all these different techniques that I'm mentioning right now is all based, of course, on your lifestyle. Do you have children? Don't you have children? Your time of day that you're working, and so on, of course. But now you can go and you can start marketing when you come home, and you have those leads ready to call when you get home. So that's the technique that I use when I'm doing something during the day. Maybe I'm out with family or something, and then I want to contact people at night. I'll start doing that. Now at that point, you can really look at your day and what time zone that you're in, and start to think, okay, I'm in Eastern time, but there's Mountain, there's Central, there's Pacific. So how can I be able to market during other times that are not Eastern time? Well, that's called compression of time, compressing time. And that's how you can actually be calling people at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night, but make sure that you're calling those people that are in Pacific. Okay, now their time is only 8 o'clock or 8:30 or so on, right? So that's how you can do that. Now on the flip side, if you're in Pacific, you can start doing this and start calling people at 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8 Pacific time in the morning, and you'll be calling people at 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern time, all right? So it's just the flip side for you, depending on what time zone you're in. And of course, make your time schedule if you're Central or Mountain and so on. It's the same technique, but you'll be able to compress your time. So if you're saying, oh, I have no time to build my business, well, hey, this video can give you some ideas on how you can actually build your business around whatever schedule you have, using the tools, using the time that's available, using the time zones that are available to be able to build your business. Now, so back to what I was talking about originally is, you know, what am I thinking about in the morning? Well, I'm thinking about all of this. Okay, now my thinking is going into administration stuff because I run so many websites and so many things, and it's not necessarily about specifically prospecting people. But it's along the same lines. You know, I'm going to think, okay, what am I doing from this time to this time? What projects do I have? And in your mind, you might be thinking, okay, how am I going to prospect these people? What tools am I using? When am I going to contact them? How am I going to follow up? Am I doing three-way calls? You know, see what I'm saying? All these different things that you're thinking about as you're meditating in the morning in your apartment or your home, or if you're working out in a gym, or if you're doing something, you know, taking a walk or something like that in the morning, you know, that type of thing. So something to think about, and so I wanted to pass that along to you today, and maybe that might be helpful in building your business. I hope you like the scenery here. I didn't go walking around, but it's just so beautiful when I see these reeds going back and forth, and just a great thing to look at as you're relaxing and meditating. So catch you later, guys, and we'll see you on another video. Bye-bye for now.